Rebel. This is Kate Rebel's Realm, and I hope you guys are enjoying my little videos. I am here with part 2 of the Cursed Cultist faction, and part 1 was a lot of fun, so I'm excited to dive in. I also wanted to say thank you to Fastidious because I've been using his cutouts for my thumbnails, and I realized, because I was looking on Google to get the already transparent characters from Watcher of Realms to make thumbnails with. I just realized, now downloading them, that it was Fastidious that was making most of them, so thank you so much. That has been a huge help. Not that you're gonna see this video, but I just wanted to say shout out to Fastidious for that. And let's get into it. Osiren. Duty beyond death. The undead royal guard of Hatsut. Yay! Is said to possess terrible powers bestowed by the god of the netherworld himself, defending the ruler Queen Hatsut and the legendary treasures in the immortal city. Thousands of years ago, there was a mysterious ancient kingdom whose royal guard would spend decades practicing magic, ruling, and killing to serve the royal family wholeheartedly, and Osiren was one of them. There were also the devoted servants of the god of the netherworld, an enigmatic being known as the god of fate. And on that fateful day, Queen Hatsut's husband was killed in a rebellion which enraged the queen, and Osiren's calamitous life after death was thus doomed. He planned to exact revenge on the rebels who had murdered the prince with the queen, to whom he had sworn allegiance. And he prayed to the god of the netherworld for divine providence. Finally, the divine providence intervened in Queen Hatsut's nightmare. Osiren spent several years overseeing the construction of a lavish underground palace in the name of Queen Hatsut's new residence with the royal guard, and he invited the killers who murdered the prince to the inauguration celebration. The royal guard tortured the murderers before delivering them to the god of the netherworld. Satisfied with her revenge, the queen chose to live in the underground palace, which was the closest place to her husband's grave. Osiren and the royal guard chose to accompany her and serve her for the rest of her life as well. Hatsut's piety impressed the god of the netherworld with her blood-for-blood revenge plan. As a result, he resurrected her and granted her eternal life. She begged God to bring her husband back to life as well, but God refused because his soul had long since faded. The god of the netherworld, on the other hand, could resurrect her royal guard through an evil-tainted pact, allowing them to serve her forever. In exchange for the pact, the queen must forever serve the god of the netherworld and act as his agent in the world, wielding the power to grant eternal life or death. Osiren was thus resurrected at the queen's will, with more magical power than ever. But as his flesh began to decompose underground, his face became decayed and distorted. The god of the netherworld gave all the members of the royal guard strange masks to hide their corrupted faces, as well as scythes to harvest the crickets who broke into the immortal city in search of immortality and wealth for himself. Osiren is still stationed in the immortal city with a shady loyalty of Queen Hatsut, determined to eliminate all threats for her. He is protecting her for everything. Now her husband, the king, the prince, is gone. So it's like, are they together now? Because I feel like, does he have feet? I don't know why it was important if he had feet or not. Hollow. Deep within a lantern, Hollow's body isn't real, but her conviction is. A survivor of a villainous cult's attempted sacrifice, Hollow was abducted as a child for her prodigious magical talents. Over long, brutal years, they prepared for her tribute, carving runes into her skin and branding her with enchantments. They knew Hollow would survive because of her unrivaled healing mastery. The more they harmed her, the more she healed herself, so that they could harm her again. And she complied, because if Hollow believed in anything, it was destiny. They told her this was her destiny. They couldn't be wrong. Finally, the day came and the cultists carried out their ritual. They forced Hollow's whole body through interdimensional travel as a sacrifice to their demonic god. The travel was arduous, nearly splitting Hollow's mind and body apart, but for every wound again, Hollow healed herself. In the fabric between dimensions, a Hollow glimpsed timelines past and yet to come, all of the worlds she knew being eviscerated by unfathomable apocalypses, blood and death, hell fiends and horrors. What was humanity's destiny? Then she came face to face with the cult's demonic god. The god grinned with a mouthful of too many teeth and mocked her for her naivety. There was no such thing as fate. Destiny is a pretty lie for naive souls. Hollow's world was uprooted beneath her feet. Everything she believed in was false. Now she faced death before her, no more than a pawn in a scheme. No, she wouldn't die to a lie. For the first time in her life, Hollow rebelled. Be it out of spite or stubbornness, Hollow would prove that destiny could be shattered, both for her and the world. Hollow rewrote the spells on her body, carving fresh runes into her skin to change the course. She'd be sent back home at any cost. And there was a cost. The demonic god lashed out at her, expecting she'd be his meal. She was torn apart as she was hurled back to the physical realm, but Hollow kept healing herself and kept her soul alive. And when she finally landed in the physical plane, her detached soul landed in a simple lantern. This was who she was now, a powerful soul encased in a fragile vessel, with an unforeseen grasp on the magic that binds dimensions together. Hollow's human form is a false construct of her own creation, no more than a doll that she puppets to interface with those around her. As much as she yearns to be human again, she acknowledges the sacrifice she made and doesn't regret it. When the world started to fall to corruption, she crafted a unique summoning stone, imbuing it with a majority of her magical power. With Hollow's talents, she can use the relic to summon distant, capable heroes to protect the realm, but she knows she's not a leader. That's why she has sought out the commander. After all, they've both defied their destinies of death. They can do it again. But this time, for the world. This doll isn't expressive enough to give you the glare you deserve. I think I need a moment after that one. I actually think I need a moment. I'm like sweating, I'm like crying. That was like actually so sad. Okay, so I don't really use Hollow. I always thought she was cool. I thought she was one of the coolest ones that I don't use, and now I need to use her. I need to max her out. I need to give her my best gears. I need to give her everything I got. I must give her everything I have right now. Oh my god. We did Iona, which, if you know, you know, you owed, you owed. Back in the Watchguard faction, we did her, we did Greed in the Nightmare faction, we did Cyrene in the Watchguard faction, and we also did Nero in the Watchguard faction. We don't have to do those ones again because you can just go and watch my other videos. Abizu, I don't know how to say her name, I'm assuming it's like Abyssal. She is the Skullkeeper Abizu. Oh. Reliable commander. I just got an achievement. I'm also on my boyfriend's account because mine's logged into my laptop and I couldn't film on my laptop, and for some reason it wouldn't let me log into multiple computers. I don't know. What achievement did I just get him? Check 100 hero stories? We've busted through near 100 of the stories, but I know he had looked up a few recent newer characters. We looked up originally, we read our favorites, which was Glutton, and his was, I think, Salazar. The Skullkeeper. What if the heavens are empty? What if all the demons walk among us? Street Preacher. There was an angel who watched over the races of Tyre from her post within the clouds. The more she viewed, the more her disdain grew. Avarice, envy, and all of their festering kin ran rampant below her cumulus perch, and with each passing day she questioned the worthiness of those she was created to protect. She would bear their wickedness no longer. She tore off her own wings and descended among them. Abizu the Skullkeeper once envied mortals in their existence. Now she rules them. When Abizu first descended from her celestial plane with 2 blood-blackened stumps from where her wings once stemmed, she was overcome with a tangible sense of freedom. No more would she be shackled and bound to defending the ungrateful and unjust. The fallen angel set her sights upon those most corrupt of heart, for their souls were the easiest to possess. She lured beings of all races and creeds with the pleasures they coveted most: power, lust, wealth. Man or woman, orc or elf, these trivialities mattered not. The blacker the heart, the further under her wiles they fell. From the corners of Tyia crawled the most putrid denizens, their souls blacker than the spaces between the stars. When she had amassed a following too large in number to count, Abizu gathered them all in a great basin deep within the mountains, lambs to slaughter. With a snap of her fingers, the fallen angel set her followers upon themselves in a battle unlike any other. They clawed their own eyes, chewed the throats of their neighbors. Whatever their greed-filled fingers fell upon was torn apart. In the end, all there was left to do was reap the souls and collect the bones. Perhaps not unsurprisingly, many in Tyia praise Abizu for her methods. After all, the true innocent remains safe from her wrath. But as long as deviltry prevails in any format, this fallen angel's reservoir of souls will remain at capacity. Okay. So she's evil, but not evil. The only thing that matters to her is if you're a good person. If you're a good person, you're fine. If you're a bad person, you're done for. She's got no exceptions. Éowyn. A deal with death. Carrion circle overhead, announcing the arrival of their mistress. She offers life, but at what cost? Excerpt from the Deities of Tyia, Volume 2. Deities in Tyia magically form for a vast multitude of reasons. Some are created to fill a void or provide balance. Others spawn from the energy of cataclysmic events that shape the very world itself. Such is the case for Éowyn, the mistress of oblivion. Centuries ago, Tyaia's first major battle was fought on the great southern plains, with 2 primitive armies contending for a territory. To this day, it remains one of the goriest events in history. By the time the last shield fell, the shield was so strewn with bodies that it was nigh impossible to find an empty patch of grass. The stench and death rattles resonated for miles. Energy such as this, filled with anguish and horror, often serves a channel for creation, and with so many lives cut so suddenly short, the souls of the fallen descended into flux. To the awe of those still drawing breath, a great swirling vortex formed in the center of the field, and from it emerged the figure of a beautiful, albeit ominous-looking woman. Éowyn, as she came to be known, guided the fallen soldiers to the afterlife, but offered each a deal: reincarnation, in exchange for eternal servitude upon their second demise. Some refused, of course, though many jumped at the prospect of another chance at life. Peculiar enough, a swarm of carrion birds not previously known to Tyia descended onto the battlefield and picked clean the bones of those who'd made the pact. The rest were left to rot. As if drawn to carnage, Éowyn continues to appear at the conclusion of most major battles, along with her fleet of carrion, death itself her calling. She makes the same pact with every lost, tortured soul, though no one truly knows to what end she builds her ranks. So what exactly, are they birds now? Do you think their soul is in birds that peck away, and it's just like the circle of pecking and submission and pecking and submission? Can I say that? Well, this has been part 2 of The Cursed Cult, and I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. But I'm really excited to do a couple more of this Cursed Cult because some of my favorite legendaries are in in here, so I'm excited, so please stay tuned for that. Anyway, I'm rambling, but I hope you enjoyed. I am Kate Rebel, and this is Kate Rebel's Realm, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much! Mwah! But whatever, it's fine. I am going to pretend. I literally don't even think about the bloozers. I'm sorry, but I just, out of my mind. I'm disheveled. Okay. Deep within a lantern. Aw, like Emily Dickinson. I was out with a lantern searching for myself. Or whatever the quote is. Something like that. What if the heavens are empty? What if all the demons walk among us? Is there even a god? Wait, what if Hatsa was like married to George, and this is just like right after. No. Blah. Oh my god, Hollow. I'm gonna give you everything I got, girl. On God. The cursed cultists.